To call them the Diamond Dogs. Oh, yeah, little David Boy bringing back the time warp machine. Saw him live twice, once in Houston and then in St. Louis at the old uh, Kiel Auditorium. But yeah, anyway. Hey, y'all, what's up? Good to see you. Let me get everything going here. There we go. I'm in good shape. So hope the rest of you are. Favor to you, Bosto. And, you know, got my co-pilot here. So we just give everyone a virtual hug. What do you say? Yeah, yep, yeah. He says, spread the love. No hate, no fear. Spread the love. Give a hug. Hey, I like that. So, yeah, pass it on. That's something that, it should be contagious. That one works really well. So what's up, everybody? Hello, moderators, and hello, Soul Tribe. What's up? Hey, Trina. Good to see you, darling. And we got Nina the Mystic and Miss Cajun Queen. Miss Lois, good to see you, dear. Ellen, hello. Deborah Truex, what's up? Susie Q, look at you. You're beautiful. David Castle, you're beautiful too. I've seen your picture, seen you actually on there. So, Elder Barry, I love that. How are you doing? Welcome. Hello, wise April Fool. Pace, Kent Cook, what's up? Loretta, sweet Loretta was a... Yep, anyway, y'all got it. Hey, Zigzagzilla, hope it's getting warm out there. Posey, and let's see who else is all about. So, happy birthday if you got one. Tonight on the Steiger Perspective, artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, my time. You're really going to want to watch this. In fact, we're breaking records on the people listening. Tonight is going to be a barn raiser. Just going to tell you right now. You see, a lot of people say a barn burner. No. We're building up. We don't burn things down. We build them up. It's titled America in Constitutional Crisis. The Enemy is Within. Folks, guarantee it. And the reason why I can say that, because, maybe you don't know this, I actually write it out. Yes, every word. Well, I ad lib in there, but for the most part, do approximately 3,000 to 3,500 words. And at my pace, in the way that the way that I vocalize and project, it's about 58 minutes and 34 seconds. So there you go. But check it out. Seriously, check it out. You really will. Well, I'll let you see. So, kind of the theme this week has been, do your thoughts rule you, or do you rule your thoughts? That's really what it get down to. Most people don't know their thoughts. Most people don't take time to even hear their thoughts. As my wife tells me all the time, she says, you go places the vast majority of the population would not dare. But that's what we do here. We like it. We're spiritual beings. We seek out spirituality. Spirituality contains wisdom. Wisdom contains knowledge. Knowledge is neither good nor evil. It just is. Someone said yesterday, well, how can you say a higher intelligence has no emotions? Well, I can say that because it's knowledge. Knowledge is neither good nor bad. Wisdom is not colored by man's perception. And so, having said that, once you begin to realize how powerful you are, myself, many of you came from abusive childhoods. Many of you were in abusive relationships. Those imprint your spirit, your aura. It's the color, it's in you. If there's ever that dark color, and by the way, I got 3 requests. I am going to go through the color section of the document that we were looking at, because it's pretty detailed, and we should talk about it because we're talking about being able to give form to your servitor. Here's something. I came across this story and it's interesting. There is a guy, and by the way, there are a couple of people who are now manifesting this. Folks, if you get this, it's going to give you one of those thrills, up your leg kind of thing. There is a gentleman, and I believe he lives in Idaho. Idaho has something going on. Anyway, as he tells his story, he has won 6 lotto jackpots. And he said, and I found it so interesting. He said, before I started getting into lotto, he said, I first, get this, acquired the intent. What did he inquire the intent of? You would say winning. Yeah, that had a motivation, but actually, he said that he has won because, you get this, ready for this? He trusts his intuition. He said that he goes around the city that he lives in, and when he goes in and he goes up to where they sell the lottery tickets and what have you, he said he stops and begins to sense his intuition. And based on his intuition, it will guide him to where he's at, picking out a ticket, etc. And you've got to admit, in less than a year and a half, he has won 6 different jackpots. Now, there is another lady in all places of Idaho as well that is having the similar type of success. Again, a similar story. It's interesting because what have they done? Well, the books that we're actually basing a lot of this teaching on is the works of Annie Besant and C.W. Ledbetter. And C.W., I dig this guy. I would have really enjoyed just sitting around just talking to this dude. He really, his vision. Let me see if I can show you this. There we go. You see, that is thought. That is intent. It radiates. And as we're going to discover, these are power colors. These are colors of what I would call strong to pure, mixed, obviously, with other elements, but they all still blend. And his book, by the way, is Man Invisible, Man Invisible. It's a short book, very compact read. He discussed, for instance, let me see, there you go. These are different thought maturity forms. And you can see that he and Annie are also the ones who developed what we would call the color charts. So it's a fascinating book. And of course, the book that we're studying from is Thought Forms. I actually have now found a actual web site that actually, and I'll be putting it in here, that is this book. For those of you, it's not a PDF, it's a web link, so I'll put that in. But we're going to get more into it. This is a fascinating book. I would have really had liked to have met Annie. She took it to places of identifying something that is right there. It's a vital part of us, but yet the vast majority of people are completely ignorant of it. And it seems that those who are many take nefarious positions, controlling thoughts, sending thoughts forms, servitors, to control other people. Servitors, like tulpas, they can actually take on material form, actual physicality, which is interesting. If you study the ancient Israelites, going back to the Egyptians, Canaanites, going back to Babylon, Mesopotamia, even the Sumerian folklore, we know that servitors were men. If you read the creation story of Enki and his mother, we find out that they were creating tulpas. Yeah, golems. These were physical beings that looked alive, but their first attempts failed miserably. You can read it in the tablets. Number of them they had to destroy. One particular version of Adam, the Adama, continued to piss on himself. I thought that was always weird, so you're reading a tablet, right, that is some 9,000, 8,000 years old, and you're reading in their folklore of their mythology, of their belief systems, that, the story that was basically plagiarized into the Bible, the book of Genesis. Yeah, one of the Adams just couldn't hold it in. Another one apparently could not figure out when it hit a wall that it was to turn around and find another, direction. We do it all the time. It's amazing. We take it for granted, but no, this one would hit a wall and just continue to try to. So, and the story of how they began to get the spirit, I don't know if we could really say soul. Some say it. In eschatology, when I was in Bible school, and I actually did a video on this, you will see a clear distinction. This is why I know there's foundation to so much of this. For instance, for reference points, in Genesis 1:26, we read about the 6-day people. This story centers around that there was both a male and a female that was created at the same time. They were given power to rule the earth and to subjugate the earth. It was said that this version of the Adama was perfect, no fault. We never know what happened to those people. In some writings, in the book by Gary Wayne called exactly that, Genesis 6, described them as the blackhead people. And we read about the blackhead people in Sumerian texts as well. But we know that something happened. We know that there was a cataclysm that hit Earth and wiped us out. And then we pick up the story of the second attempt. And the second attempt was what we know today as the creation story. Now, the difference being between what we call the second Adam, which would be Genesis 2, 7, and 9, and Genesis 1:26 of the blackhead people, was that this Adama, the second one, actually had something breathed into him. And it is said that he became a living soul. Now, it brings up the debate then, well, what was it before? Obviously, these were spiritual beings, but it's really weird, and there's different ways that you can interpret this. I kind of look at it now that it wasn't so much the breath of life blown into man, it was much like the Goa'uld. They implanted us with a parasite. They breathed something into us that made us subservient, somehow lesser than of what our predecessor was. And if you think about the importance of thought, that it's only been 70,000 years since we've been able to express thought through words. Prior to that, what was thought? Pictures, colors, representation of communication. It gets deep. I'm just reading what all y'all are saying. It's cool. It's been infiltrated. I tell you. And that has always puzzled me. Like I said, I did the whole thing, 2 creations, 2 worlds. Something changed. The debate is, as we read yesterday, how human are we? And if we see a potential parasitic symbiotic relationship between another species and us, it's interesting. Folks, we're in such a time of change. I want to thank the individual, Joseph, who sent me the link, but and I'll put it out there if there's interest here, but there is a one of the channels out there, and it was an interesting discussion. And that is what they're fundamentally doing to us. We are seeing an evolutionary leap in the Homo genesis species. And folks, this all starts from thought. None of this would have been possible if it wasn't for a thought. Why is it that some thoughts actually produce such incredible change and others die as a whimper? I'm just reading there, right? Hey, 7P, what's up? Peter, good to see you. So, let's move on. So I apologize that for those who were listening and were saying, listen, we can't get the PDF. Could you read to us what those colors were? Okay, I can do that. All right, so this is when you're creating the thought form. Why color is so important when you choose your color. Here, this author writes black, and black has, well, let's just read it. Black absorbs, black conceals, and creates confusion and chaos, new beginnings, knowledge of hidden things, the container of light, one of the most powerful of colors. Use black for self-control, endurance, and patience. Black is also a good color to use to bring discord and confusion to enemies. It can be used also for protection, binding negative forces, breaking up obstacles and blocks, reversing and breaking up negative thought forms, best when applied to others. Black rules over the base chakra, the planet Saturn, the element of earth, and in the original religions, it signified the new beginnings. In Satanic alchemy, black represents the step of void, meditation, and transformation. Blue. Blue means truth, wisdom, protection, inner peace, loyalty, occult power, and expansion. Jupiter rules royal blue. Luck, expansion, abundance, long distance travel, higher education, legal matters, taxes when used with green, investments, foundations, prosperity, an opportunity. Spirituality is blue. Summoning demons, healing, inspiration, devotion, serenity, sincerity, and truth. Fidelity, inner peace, knowledge, and wisdom. Harmony in the home, occult power, and expansion. Blue can also be used in spells. When the color is applied to others and directed for inciting depression, sadness, hopelessness, lack of sympathy, coldness, and gloom. Wow, talk about a dichotomy. Holy crapola. Blue rules over the throat chakra. Isn't that interesting? Blue is of the water element. And I always found this interesting. Summoning of demons. You know, this has been so screwed up and so hijacked by the religious group that it's nothing to what it really means anymore. I've done videos and we're going to do more on this because, folks, if demons do exist in the negative thought form, it only validates my point that the realm we're going into, it's the freaking Wild West. I mean, it's dangerous over there. Can be. Hey, listen, if they exist, what are they going to do when they see you walking by over there? And it's interesting. And I can't share this because I don't have their permission, and it's so personal, but 2 emails talking about being sexually assaulted by spirit beings. I kid you not. I want to thank the 2 who wrote. So brave, and I will be responding to you. But folks, yeah, don't tell me that this is just, oh, this is this really kind of good metaphysical stuff. This isn't metaphysical. This is reality. Gold. Now, gold is a color that has followed me. Trina and I, you know, yeah, anyway. Gold represents great fortune, intuition. Imagine building your servitor, and the way I build mine, it's translucent gold with an opalescence of opal. It's like the mother of pearl, but dominated with this transparent gold. It's beautiful. Divination, fast luck, financial benefits. This person said, I believe gold attracts larger sums of money. Use green with shimmering gold for money meditation. Gold is used for healing, happiness, authority, reputation, honor, and personal power. Use gold for confidence, fame, success in gambling, pleasure, securing popularity, charisma, increasing health and vitality, healing, protection, success, and magical powers. Gold is one of the most powerful colors. It's one of the most powerful of all the colors. Satan has a golden aura. Did you ever know that? Lucifer has to have one. Wow. Gold is the color of the sun and is of the element of fire. In satanic alchemy, gold represents the perfection of the soul. Both the colors gold and white gold are seen all over in ancient Egypt hieroglyphs. In the temples and pyramids, gold is the color of riches and power. We just had a dude in the White House who knew this. Most people don't realize this, but the dude was a very powerful magician. But the world never saw it that way. Anyway, we move on. Green. Money, fertility, abundance, material gain, wealth. Actually, grain is actually a proper word there because, and it will be again, grain will become as valuable as gold. Mark my words. Anyway, wealth, healing, communication with nature spirits, anti-inflammatory. Venus rules green, love, making love, affectionate. Red is for lust and sex. Green is fidelity, reconciliation, beauty, youth, friendships, attraction, harmony, financial gain, earnings increases, social functions, possessions, riches, indulgence, pleasure, good for beginnings and growth. Venus rules green, abundance, fertility, success, generally good luck, harmony, immortality, generosity, material gain, renewal, marriage, balance, and healing. Green can also be used for inciting jealousy, greed, and suspicion. Most often that I have seen green has always been associated with just that: jealousy, greed, avarice. He was green with envy, green with jealousy. I knew a guy that would only buy a green car. To him, it was like an amulet, you know, a huge servitor, you could say. But yeah, let's see. Resentment, sickness, disease, and disharmony when applied to others and directed. Green rules the heart chakra. Indigo. Indigo is associated with meditation, psychic ability, telepathy, mind reading, spirit communication, absorbing knowledge telepathically. The moon rules over indigo. I love that color. Indigo, isn't it just one of those colors you want to immerse yourself into it? I mean, you really just want to immerse yourself into that essence. Yeah. Anyway, indigo is the element of the quintessence ether, the spirit. Indigo rules the third eye, along with the colors of silver and white, and the sixth chakra. Orange. Lynn and I recently watched one of the worst movies ever, but it was interesting because in the theme, whoever was the continuity director, and if you've ever been in the production of a film, orange was the color. Orange. There was a company in Europe that was called Orange. Anyway, orange represents creativity, enthusiasm, energy, stamina, and is a powerful color of major changes. Orange helps with adaptability, attraction, sudden changes, stimulation, enthusiasm, creativity, energy, gaining control, changing luck, and inciting justice. I never knew that. The sun rules orange. Orange rules the creative sexual chakra, the second one, and is of the element of fire. I'm on fire. Anyway, purple. Purple was the color in 2017. It was. Go back and check it out. Purple represents psychic ability, wisdom, divination, removing curses, healing, psychic work, business success, influencing people in power. Powerful color with energies that can be difficult to handle. It can be used when applied to others to incite tyranny, abuse of power, idealism, and influencing people who have power over you. Good for inciting sadness and treachery in others. Jupiter rules purple. Purple rules the crown chakra. Many of you are, I can sense it. Many of you not getting into a different topic, but know what was being done. You see, folks, there are powerful witches, powerful wizards in positions of great power and influence. Many to see them as charismatic leaders. But when they do something, you best observe what is being done. Look into it. Everything is a message. And if you go back to 2017 of a particular candidate, and if you look at what that candidate was wearing throughout the whole term, there was magic. It was a curse. It was a battle in the ether, in the spirit realm. Let's continue. Red. Red represents energy, passion, anger, inflammatory, lust, strength, protects against psychic attack. Mars rules red. Red is revenge, anger, pure sexual lust, and physical gratification, courage, determination, dealing with enemies. Red is used for inciting accidents, fires, and injuries. Red can also be used for self-confidence, athletics, strength, creating magical energy for black magic. Remember a particular athlete who only would wear black and red on a particular day? Good for self-empowerment before workings of black magic and inducing intensity. Incites lust, energy, strength, sexual energy, dynamism, passionate love, physical desire, courage, willpower, athletics, especially competitive athletics, and vitality. When used in black magic, red is opposed to black, brings on sudden attacks, accidents, bloodshed, violence, and hatred. Red can also be used to incite wars, anarchy, and cruelty. Mars rules red. Red is of the element of fire. Both the colors red and black rule the root chakra. Silver. Silver develops psychic abilities, neutralizes situations, repels destructive forces, works with female deity powers. The moon rules the color silver, the home and the immediate surroundings, imagination, memory, psychic awareness, dreams, spirituality, meditation. For psychic related, meditative, hypnotic, the moon rules silver, silver rules the third eye. White, all purpose, balance the aura as all color emanates from white light, energizing, protective, stimulating, inspiring, destroys destructive energies, cleans the aura, provides protection when applied to others and directed. The moon rules white. White rules the third eye along with indigo and silver. Boy, and I tell you what, if some of you are connecting the dots, you can begin to create a thought form, a servitor with some powerful colors. Yellow. Yellow is the color of intellect. Computers, communication, audio, video, TV, electronics, books, and literature. Yellow rules the solar chakra of the will. Ruled by the planet Mercury, yellow can be used for passing exams. Really? You could wear a yellow shirt, yellow dress, yellow blouse, yellow shoes, I guess. Ruled by the planet Mercury, yellow can be used for passing exams, improving the mind for deeper concentration, mental power, learning ability, speech, writing, publishing, media concerns, gossip, slander, interviews, brothers, sister, neighbors, rumors, left, all areas of study and communication, also astral projecting, overcoming addiction, and breaking habits. Good for friendship, imagination, creativity. Orange is a more powerful, though, for creativity. Inspiration and charisma. Yellow can be used to incite infidelity, cowardlessness, decay, disease, dying, insanity, and inconsistency in others. Yellow is the element of air. Yellow rules the solar plexus and the chakra. Well, this depends on where you want to apply it. Gray, never, never, never use gray on yourself. Gray is the color of illness and bad energy. Gray, applied repeatedly to the aura of a hated one, can bring about a slow death if programmed to do so. And that is that. Wow. Holy crapola. Seriously. I mean, wow. All right, you have to admit, now that was a lesson. I mean, it's like, who would have thought, you know? Ellen says, wearing a gray shirt today. Well, I think in fashion, gray looks fine. I had a Bayberry overcoat, and it was beautiful, and it was gray. I have gray suits, but I never knew that. But I can tell you, in my training, I adapted dress for success. And when I was getting into the corporate world, dress was very important. And you quickly begin to realize that people in power, and this goes for men and women, because women follow the same pattern, black suit, white shirt, red tie. That is the power emanation. It projects power, it demands respect. And typically, if you have like board meetings and what have you, you will notice that red is the color of choice. Now, I knew this. I mean, you could wear a blue tie. Blue is very warming. It's very open, non-threatening. And so I look at this and I look back and I'm going, you know what? Yeah, this stuff is like, yeah, there's validation here. There really is. There's without a doubt. I'm just reading some of the comments. Yes, yes, Jenny. Absolutely. Paul, Joe, you're right. It's power brokers. Yep, yep. And my wife likes it when, I dress with a black suit, black on black with red. She goes crazy when I do that. But anyway, and it's one of those colors. You never wear a black shirt to any type of business meeting. They'll ask you to leave is what they'll do. I mean, it's just that's one of those unwritten rules. It's like when you get on a boat or a ship or whatever, that there are certain things you just don't do. It's like in Hawaii, people that go up to Mauna Lea, they will pick up rocks and they will take these rocks back home, and the bad juju starts happening to them. So things start going wrong. Things start breaking down. I mean, it's just one plague after the other. And many of them realize that, well, how did this start? And you talk to the people over there. It's funny because when you go up and visit there, they literally have this pile of rocks that people mail back. Get this stuff out of my house. It brought something with it. Now, is that just thought? Yeah. So what's going on in here? Let's say, hey, Prophet Coyote, what's up? So, hey, Mother Nature. I appreciate you, darling. Scarlet Letter. Deborah, that's true, isn't it, though? And, Lady in Red. Yeah, same thing. It's amazing when you do the correlation, because you're going, well, life shows me that this is true. There's direct correlation in this. Now, if I can apply this knowledge in creating a new thought form, speaking of which, I have another one we read yesterday. Let me see here. We like that one right there. So this is creating magical entities. May not get through all of it, but yeah, this is great mind coitus here. Here, Mr. Dangler, he's a pagan student association at Ohio State. Thank you, sir. An entity is basically something that has being. Interesting. Magic. Now, I know he used the type of magic that is the sleight of hands, not the proper spelling of magic, but that's okay. Is something like bending reality to fit your will. I like that. Creating is bringing something into being. Bingo. Absolutely. I'll share this because it seems to be in theme. Back in the day when Las Vegas was there, and there were years where I had to visit that place 4 or 5 times a year. And out of complete boredom, sometimes you find yourself just walking, and it's happened to me a number of times where I'd just be walking through, row after row of slot machine, and just kind of letting my mind just kind of being open. And then all of a sudden something says, stop. And I learned to listen. I stop. And you just get this feeling, and it's happened to me several times. Put in not much money, $10 or so, and end up winning $5,000, hitting a jackpot. Yeah, it's true. My grandmother could do that. Maybe it's passed on. Basically, creating magical entities is bringing something that bends reality into being. Well spoken. I like that. Now, defining how to do it, that is the hard part. This is far simpler than the definition given by Cunningham, Elwood, and Wagner. A vital principle held to give life to an immaterial essence, which has been created to have a self-contained and distinct existence with a conceptual reality by the deliberate effort of personifying segregated thoughts and emotions. Test at the end. But now, I can see that. It has a self-contained and distinct existence. That's a servitor. That's a thought form. He writes on, the above definition is far too complicated, and it is, and empty to use for the purpose of this workshop. Entities are simply things that are, whether they obtain a conceptual reality, a distinct existence, or any level of personification is entirely up to the magician. They can be as complicated as a corporate entity like McDonald's or as simple as a can opener. Folks, why do corporations go through, in many cases, millions of dollars to develop an identity logo, a sigil? It's because they're alive. True. Entities are also often called servitors, Igors. The word Igor deals primarily with group work, like us. It literally means spirit of the group. We are doing magic here. We really are. And many Igors are created in every group ritual. I wonder how many we've created. And they can be created and fed by a number of people. Servitor literally means attendant or one who serves, but for our purpose, they're things created by an individual to do some sort of task. Entities are created for reasons. These reasons are defined by the magician. Some examples include preventing unauthorized entry, If many of you are having problems with entities coming around at night, draw yourself a triangle, put it underneath your bed. It'll help in that. Keeping your practicing at a skill, keeping you involved in personal ritual or meditation, storing energy, drawing attention to yourself, remote viewing, keeping beer cold or preventing burnt toast. Sure, alarm clock, reminding. An easy process is to look at your goal, the results you want, and then distilling that into a statement of intent. The entity will deal with decreasing your homework load. I like this. It's one of the key things many people fail to do when you're creating is to write it down. I don't know, there's something about it. When it's in your writing, your hand, it brings it into focus, it brings it into reality. Back in the day, if you wanted to start a business, you had to develop a business plan. A business plan is probably one of the most grueling exercises any person will ever go through. But I can tell you this, by the time you get finished writing a proper business plan, one that is accepted before qualified investors, you learn something, you learn things. You learn how to begin to control certain things. You learn the power of words. You learn the magic of hands. You learn the magic of speech. You learn the magic of thought, projecting, mirroring. It's all magic. So anyway, you have to write your goal, what you want, generally speaking. In this case, if the goal is decreasing your homework, then he said, I want to have less homework. The result, what you want specifically, Dr. Gregory will assign less homework each day. Statement of intent. What do you intend this entity to do, and how will it go about doing it? This entity should cause me to have less homework by increasing the perception that my history 322 class is overworked and learns more from lectures, causing Dr. Gregory to assign less homework. This is freaking beautiful, folks. And if you're listening, I hope you're taking notes. This is a PDF, by the way. Once you have the statement of intent drawn from a synthesis of the goal and the results, you need to distill down the statement to a very basic, very real statement that finds the most important elements of the statement and accentuates them as well. So the distilled statement of intent will read this. It's an an attenuation of important elements of the statement of intent. Decreased homework from Gregory. This statement includes all the important parts and doesn't need to be nearly as specific because it comes from the statement of intent. We will become less and less specific. The KISS principle. Less is more, right? And he says, now you have a choice. You can make a sigil or you can make an entity. The entity will be more able to think on its feet and respond to various stimuli and events as they have an actual being. Because of that, we're going to make an entity, not a sigil. And he's going to get into sigils a little bit later. So now, number 5, distill a name for your entity. This basically means that we need to scramble the name up and make an easier to sigilize or to call on. Many of you don't know what this means. Go back and look at the archives. I did a whole thing on sigils. In this case, we want to name the entity in a way that we can call on it verbally when need be, but also so that we can eventually sigilize it. Here, he says, I've taken the statement of intent, we distilled it and made it shorter. Home, down, Greg. I inverted the letters, wrote it backwards, and came up with Greg Nuwad Imoth. I made it into two names and now have the name for my entity. On occasion, you might need to insert letters or shuffle them around a little bit. This becomes especially important when you end up with too many or too few vowels or consonants. Feel free to add to them or shuffle the letters around to make sense. Number 6, create an appearance. What does your entity look like? Write a description. Draw a picture or come up with a history bio for the entity. I created my servitor, and I'm not going to say the name. I gave it birth on such and such date. I give it free will to grow into. You see, this is how it works. I suggest Spinelli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's great. I love the metaphor. Think about what it looks like, what it wears. Is it anthropomorphic? Is it some sort of category jam like half bunny, half human for speed during a race? Does it have elemental features? What is it about the entity that helps it work? Is it vengeance entities that might have a hand in its hammer? Money entities might wear a good suit and carry a fat checkbook. Anger management entities might be made of sponge or rubber. That's cool. I like that one. Dating entities might be walking phone books with highlighters. Well, do they even make phone books? Number 7, given it a number of abilities. These abilities are methods for accomplishing its task. They may include methods of interaction with items, altering reality, or relaying information. The homework entity should. And I'm going to cut it off right there. We'll get back to this. Ain't got enough time. That's what it is, folks. But you can see, I love these books. They're simple reads. And not that any one has any particular better way over the other. It's shopping, folks. You're just seeing the aisles. And if something happens to catch your eye, then check it out a little bit deeper. That's all you have to do. It's not necessarily, is it true? Listen, what I know is this. All things are possible for him who believes. As a person thinks in his heart, so they are. Faith, calling those things that be not as though they are. To me, this is not difficult. It's my essence. It's so deep and a part of me that I don't even question it. I know how it works. Many of you do too. And that's why we like it here. Let's see. Well, thank you, Ice, Mr. JR. Appreciate the Steiger perspective tonight. Yeah, folks, listen to it. Mother Nature, gratitude to you, dear. I love your style. It's cool. Definitely. And Lost in Space, thank you. Check it out. All this works, folks. It does. You know, I look back and I think about all the Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglars and all the back in the 70s and 80s, it was very popular. They would have these, what they would call prosperity, positive thought conventions. And I loved it. I mean, Brian Tracy, met him, loved the dude. He changed my life. When I was a sales road warrior, I had 5 states that I had to cover. And having the company car and driving through the back roads of Kentucky, West Virginia, North, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, you have lots of hours. And I went through so many different albums of cassette tapes. I was programming myself because driving is somewhat a semi-hypnotic experience. And probably speaking to Big Al and Perry, as you can learn a foreign language. But I would listen to these tapes because they were reprogramming me. And I needed to be reprogrammed. I come from a where, living in daily fear as a child sucks. There are carryover effects. I built servitors that dominated me, my mind, my actions, my personality, until I destroyed them. And I did. And that's how I did it. So, all right. See y'all tomorrow. I do believe tomorrow is card day. Hope the gals are there. I think I see Nina and I seen, hey, Jenny. So I know them too. And I'm sure hopefully we'll see Miss Amber as well. See, I knew Jenny. Yeah. Love driving too. It's therapeutic, just therapeutic, except I discovered that I can't drive if there are trees at like at dusk, because as the sunlight hits those trees and as you're traveling by, it gives the strobe light effect. There were times when that would really impact me. I had to pull over the side of the road. I mean, that was some weird stuff. And I mean, it's in those of you who know about strobe lights can induce seizures in a lot of people. It's a torture device in some countries. And when I see that light, I tell you what, I couldn't take the light. So anyway, Pearl, you're welcome. Scotty boy, have a good one, my friend. Mel Mac, love it. I love Alf. I do. Hey, Trina. See, Trina said she was listening to me. It's kind of therapeutic, isn't it? All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow with our lovely panel, and have yourself a great afternoon. And I really like you people. No, I really love you. You're really your family. And wow. You were having flashbacks, Peter, there's actually some truth in that. There really is. No doubt. See? Mm-hmm. There's highway hypnosis. That is true, Deborah. Absolutely true. All right. Shante. 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 I love that. Peace be unto us all. That's what I say. All right, folks. Have yourself a groovy afternoon. Check me out tonight. I'll check you out. Hey, just tune in. That'd be better, huh? What do you mean checking me out? But all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.